Am I wrong for telling my ex-husband's mistress's family to take the baby, or I'd call Child Protective Services? It was a moment of frustration, of confusion. Of feeling trapped in a situation that was never meant to be mine. May 30th, 2024. I'm 53 years old, living a life that, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to be calm and free of complications. But that all changed when my soon-to-be ex-husband, Roger, 47, walked through the door one fateful evening, holding a baby. A baby that wasn't mine. A baby he didn't tell me about until it was too late. 4 months ago, my world shifted. Despite the betrayal of his affair, I had found a way to forgive him. I convinced myself that we could move past it, but then, his 22-year-old girlfriend, well, she couldn't. She couldn't handle the responsibility of caring for this child, and so, in a moment of utter coldness, she left the baby at Roger's workplace before heading off to Spain. Roger assumed I'd take this on. He assumed that after everything, I'd be the one to care for a child that wasn't even mine. I made it crystal clear, from the beginning, that I would not be stepping into the role of a mother again, not at 53. My children were grown, and I was not about to start raising another baby. But then came the twist. A month ago, Roger had a heart attack. It didn't kill him, much to my dismay, but it left him weak, helpless, even. He couldn't care for himself, let alone this baby that had already disrupted everything. I didn't sign up for this. I shouldn't have to take care of him. My life wasn't meant to become a second round of parenting. I already have my grown children. I shouldn't be expected to care for a baby that's nothing more than a painful reminder of Roger's betrayal. The burden of childcare? Never something I agreed to take on. And that child? He wasn't mine. I don't feel like I should be expected to treat him as if he were. So, I did what I thought was best. I told Roger I wanted a divorce. I made contact with the baby's maternal grandparents. I gave them until Friday to come take their grandchild. If they didn't, I was calling Child Protective Services. I couldn't keep carrying this weight. Not for a child I didn't ask for, and certainly not for Roger. I thought that was it. But when the grandparents came for the baby, they scolded me. They said I was cold, heartless. I was told I should have shown more compassion for a child who had done me no harm. But how could I? To me, this child is a symbol of a betrayal I can't erase from my mind. A constant reminder of the hurt, of the lies that broke my heart and left me questioning everything. Roger is recovering now. But I won't stay. I'm moving out. The house is his, but I've never contributed financially. The money I've saved? It's mine. 22 years of work, of saving, of protecting my financial independence, so I could walk away from this marriage with nothing but what's mine. I don't need anything from Roger. I've worked for what I have, and I intend to keep it that way. My children tried to convince me to stay, to help their father. But when I offered them the chance to come over and help with the cleaning and the baby, both declined. I couldn't help but feel it was hypocritical of them to ask me to do something they were unwilling to do themselves. I don't believe I'm wrong. But according to Roger, our children, his family, and even a few mutual friends, they think I am. They want me to stay, to help him recover and care for the baby. But what about me? What about my mental health? Don't I have the right to take care of myself? Perhaps sharing this will help me find clarity. Maybe, just maybe, writing it out will show me whether I'm justified in what I've done, or if I've truly crossed a line. This has been a hard, emotional time. And through it all, I've been trying to navigate my way forward, with integrity, with respect for myself. Relevant comments. Not the A-star. That child wasn't your responsibility. It's innocent, yes, but you shouldn't have been expected to raise it. You should have divorced Roger long ago. Asterisk. Fake. Not the A. Seriously, the child is only 4 months old. No way you could have forgiven such a deep betrayal. You've been married for decades. The house is rightfully yours, so make sure you get what you're owed. I read through all of these comments. OP, returning the child to blood relatives who can care for it isn't the A. But don't be the A to yourself. Don't give up your house without first talking to an attorney to ensure you're getting your fair share of the equity or any retirement funds he may have. You mentioned having savings for 22 years. Well, that isn't enough for a lifetime. Be sure to get what you're owed before you leave. I have a little over $1 million in investments. I'll be fine. He paid for everything, and I kept all my money. Update, June 26, 2024. Almost a month later, things have shifted once again. I'm no longer divorcing Roger. Sadly, complications from his heart attack led to his passing. It leaves me feeling conflicted. On one hand, he was the love of my life, but on the other, well, he was a cheater, a liar. A man who destroyed my trust. The child's mother? She's still in Europe, and from what I've heard, she's not returning anytime soon. Right now, the child is staying with the maternal grandparents. They reached out to me, asking what I think should be done. I suggested adoption. I made it clear that I wasn't suggesting I adopt the child myself, but rather that the best thing for the baby would be a stable, loving home. The grandparents didn't take kindly to my suggestion. I had barely managed to hold my ground when my own children turned on me. They accused me of being cold and heartless, insisting that I should step up, that I should take responsibility. But why? This child wasn't mine. It wasn't even a distant family member, just a stranger to me. Still, they demanded that I care for the child as if it had any connection to me. I suggested, calmly but firmly, that they, as the blood relatives, should take on that role. After all, wasn't it their responsibility, not mine? But no, neither of them accepted my suggestion. They wouldn't even consider it. The weight of it all seemed unbearable. As the sole beneficiary of my soon-to-be ex-husband's estate, I could already see the legal mess starting to unfold. Lawyers would be involved, of course, to figure out what kind of support the child might be entitled to, but I made one thing crystal clear: I would comply with the court's orders, but I would not use my own savings. The funds would have to come from Roger's estate. No more. It's a brutal thing, being accused of heartlessness when you're simply trying to protect yourself, to set clear boundaries. But why is it that when someone else causes harm, you're the one who has to bear the brunt of it? Roger's actions, the lies, the betrayal, have left deep scars, scars that aren't easily healed. I'm trying to survive this mess with whatever dignity I have left, trying to rebuild from the emotional wreckage he caused. Yes, I'll meet my legal obligations, but that doesn't mean I'm here to step into a role I never agreed to. And yet, despite my resolve, people continue to criticize me. They call me a villain for not caring for a child who isn't mine. But isn't it my right to prioritize my mental health? To prioritize my own peace of mind in this sea of chaos? I hope that sharing this, laying my heart out in words, will help me gain clarity. Maybe it will help others understand why I am doing what I'm doing. The comments flood in, each one offering a piece of advice, some kind of judgment, some kind of solution they think I haven't yet considered. Some people say, "You're right to walk away. You didn't sign up for this." Others argue that I should have done something different, that I should have taken on a role I never agreed to. But, no matter what they say, this is my life. And I'm making the best decision I can, with what little clarity I have. As I sift through these opinions, one stands out: the suggestion that I should look after my ex-husband's child. It's almost laughable. Why does anyone think that I have the right to place the child with anyone other than its own blood relatives? Right now, the child is with the grandparents. They're the ones who should decide what happens next, not me. Someone pointed out that the affair was a year ago, and that this situation had been brewing long before his heart attack. And maybe they're right. But the truth is, nothing about this feels convenient. The divorce wasn't just a sudden decision after his heart attack, it had been coming for a long time. It had been building up for years. I had forgiven him for the affair, but that didn't mean I could simply forget about the destruction he caused. I did not sign up for this child to become my responsibility. And neither did Roger. But now, people expect me to carry the weight of his choices, to shoulder the responsibility of a life I never agreed to. Some say I'm wrong for walking away. But honestly, who else would step in to help, if not the people connected by blood? Rogersville doesn't even mention this child. Could that be because the child wasn't even in the picture when it was written? Or is it just another sign of the messy, disjointed life Roger led? There's so much about this that doesn't add up. And then, the unexpected happens. The child's family, Roger's ex's parents, reached out to me. They asked what should be done next. Should they adopt? Should they seek other options? I didn't have the energy to argue. I suggested adoption, knowing full well that I didn't want to take the child on myself. But the grandparents? They didn't like that idea. They didn't like it one bit. I can't help but feel a sense of finality now, a sense that things are moving forward, and there's no going back. Not now, not after everything that has happened. The pieces are falling into place, but there's still a long way to go. And as I navigate this, one thing is clear, it's my future at stake. My choices. And if others don't understand that, then so be it. As the days go on, I begin to question myself. Was I too harsh? But no! I know I've done the right thing. The pain of betrayal still cuts deep. The person I trusted the most, the one I thought would be there for me, walked away when I needed him the most. It should have been the happiest time in our lives, filled with the joy of a new baby, the thrill of new beginnings, the bond of family. But instead, it was clouded with his absence and the gut-wrenching discovery of his affair. The thought of him being with another woman while I was home alone, nursing our newborn, stings like fresh wounds that refuse to heal. The weight of that betrayal lingers, unbearable and unrelenting. I find myself lost, confused. Can I believe that he's truly sorry, that he recognizes the devastation he's caused, that he wants to fix things? Or is this just another of his lies, another desperate plea to smooth things over when the damage is done? How can I trust him again? The trust that was shattered, it's not something that can be pieced back together with empty words. How can I forget the nights I spent awake, alone, consumed by fear and doubt? How can I forget the overwhelming exhaustion of doing everything on my own? I'm torn. Torn between wanting to give him another chance, for the sake of our child, and the deep need to protect myself from the crushing pain of further betrayal. His return stirs up a storm of emotions inside me. My heart aches for the man I thought I knew, but the fear of being hurt again is a shadow that looms large. I need space to think, to reflect, to find clarity. I can't rush this decision. The weight of it all, it's crushing. I wish there was a clear path forward, a way to know what's right for both me and my child. I'm not sure if I can ever trust him again, but how do I move forward? Relevant comments. The first comment wonders, did she even know? Did she know he was married? Did she know there was a newborn? And a second comment adds, you need legal advice, because him being at the house instead of you might work against you in the divorce. I'm not sure if I was in the right. I asked him to leave, but he refused. So I packed up and left instead. And when I spoke to an attorney, they told me I couldn't stop him from staying in the house. Update June 26, 2024. More truth came to light. Texts from the other woman revealed everything. It turns out he had been lying to both of us. When he came back, apologizing, saying he made a huge mistake, I wasn't ready to believe him. He claimed that he wasn't thinking straight, that he was going to do anything to make it right. But nothing he said could undo the pain. The woman texted me. He told me you were separated, that he'd started the divorce process. I feel so stupid now for believing him. She had no idea. She told me how they met, how they started a relationship, how he moved in with her only to leave her this morning, saying he was going back to his family. I can't even begin to imagine the betrayal she must feel too. And her words. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But I wasn't angry at her. This wasn't her fault. He deceived both of us. Relevant comments. How did I feel talking to the other woman? A mix of disbelief, maybe a bit of understanding, But mostly, it was clear he was the one who lied, not her. She had been in the dark just as much as I was. How could he do this to both of us? I told her he knew about our son. He knew about the baby all along. But even now, after everything, the pain doesn't lessen. He was lying to both of us all this time. The situation is beyond words, and even now, I don't know what comes next. I still don't know if I should take him back, if I should trust him again, or if I should just let go and move on for good. If she decides to take him back, that's her choice. But for me, I'm done. And in the end, I don't have any more energy to keep fighting for something that wasn't meant to be. I hope one day I'll find peace. I truly do.